My name's Ice, and today's video is about why the gaming platform or esports will be considered a sport in the year 2055. Just for the record, this is a school project, so drop a like so my teacher doesn't give me an F. If we get at least 10 likes, I'm sure he won't dislike my video as much. Okay, so for the title, for some people who do not engage in gaming or think that Wii Sports is a game, or thinks they're a gamer because they play Just Dance, or play Fortnite because they saw that one video of Drake playing with a streamer. A game is a sport. And I know you won't believe me, so I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why esports fit in this category. Okay. For a lot of people, and the main definition of a sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another for others' entertainment. Physical exertion is an outlier in terms of esports because most of the challenge and skill is based on the mind and how the athlete can use its mind to control the movement of its character in the video game. But both platforms have an increase in constant production, and that is what drives the interest and creates value in their respective experiences. They share a common ability to induce and cater to flow. So what is flow? Flow is a psychological term introduced by Hungarian psychology professor Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. He used the term to describe a phenomenon that artists and high performance athletes feel when they get lost in their art or sport. This is a state of hyperfocus where their sense of time and self is completely disappear, resulting in accelerated performance and creative genius. And chances are you've experienced this many times, at least on one small or high level. I'm sure you've gotten lost in a game or on your phone, or somehow gotten lost, and hours have gone by without you realizing, and next thing you know, your stomach is rumbling because you realize you've forgotten to eat dinner, your parents didn't call you, and you look at the time, and it's 3 in the morning. But what's so interesting about flow is not just the performance or hyper learning, it's where skill develops really fast. Some of the research of this came from DARPA, an agency responsible for creating new technologies for the military. DARPA research induced flow in military snipers, and they found that the target acquisition of these snipers increased by 230%. In a similar but non-military aspect, researchers at Charleswood, California, found that induced flow states cut the time that it took to train novice snipers up to an expert level by 50%. So how can one achieve flow? This has been a mystery for a long time, and we used to just stumble these states of flow when an athlete who was in the zone we used to just stumble on these states of flow when an athlete who was in the zone. We used to just stumble on these states of flow as an athlete who was in the zone or artist who found their muse. What researchers found is that flow is a process, much like anything worthwhile in life. Flow takes time to develop under the right circumstances. Where flow states are most prevalent are in action-adventure sports. Why? The reason for this is that in these extreme environments, there are built-in triggers that induce flow. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi uncovered these three triggers to induce flow. One must be in an activity with a clear goal and clear progress. The activity must have clear and immediate feedback. And there must be a balance of skill to challenge with a slight increase to perceived skill. The first two are already there in video games and sports, hence why you have a level of flow when you play a game. With too low of challenge and high of skill, we gain boredom, and with too high of challenge and low of skill, we gain anxiety. And with the sweet spot, we in the middle, we gain flow. And through Mashep Sky, we figure out that flow is triggered through a higher perceived challenge to skill, a magic number of 4%. Just enough challenge so that you become engaged, which means we are all likely to fail at some point, but soon to succeed and feel good, which is why games are so addicting and why sports are so interesting to play. It's all about the chase. When these triggers exist, one will experience flow in 3 steps. The first step is known as struggle, a fairly unpleasant feeling of frustration or fear. Perhaps the pre-game jitters, or the frustration of messing up a few times. The second stage is release, when you let go of everything, and when you let the challenge take over, and you move into it with a sense of calm. That releases the third step, which is flow itself, a combination of high stress and calming focus that causes your brain to release a cocktail of neurochemicals ready for your task, and the result is performance at the maximum skill level and the ability to learn insanely fast, the key to reaching peak performance. And insane learning is the exponential growth. And it's by this reason alone that I can say that esports thrive and become something we never expected it to be. It's the challenge, and it's the release of happiness after the challenge is completed. The dopamine that you get after practicing hours, shooting threes in the gym over and over again, just so you can drop a high point game when you're playing with friends. And that's why people play. That's why athletes play sports. It's the feeling of you get something back when you put something in. And at first, I was going to talk about how dignified esports is now compared from when it started, but this is more concrete. That feeling is why we play sports, and it is alive in esports. That's why we make them. That's why one day we will make them as one. Thank you for watching my video. I am not going to put that part in the video because that's just stupid.